How many times does a player have to prove his greatness before there's no doubt left? 5 championships weren't enough. 8 NBA Finals weren't enough. 1 MVP, 2 Finals MVPs, 18 All-Star selections, 15 All-NBA teams, 12 All-Defensive teams, 33 43 career points. And still, Kobe Bryant was questioned. And maybe that's exactly what made him so fascinating. Because Kobe was never consensus. He was conflict. He was obsession. He was intensity taken to the extreme. He was the kind of player who divided opinions but shaped generations. Before we go any further, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments, where does Kobe rank on your all-time list? Because today, we're not just talking about numbers or trophies. Today we're answering a question that's echoed for decades. How great was Kobe Bryant really? And the answer isn't just in what he did on the court. It's in who he chose to be when nobody was watching. To understand Kobe Bryant's true greatness, you have to go beyond the cold stats, the stacked trophies, the highlight reels frozen in time. It starts in a place you can't see, the mind. Kobe was never just raw talent shaped by luck. He was a deliberate creation, almost obsessive in nature. From a young age, he decided he didn't want to be remembered as just another great player. He wanted to be inevitable. Raised partly in Italy, absorbing basketball as a second language through his father, Kobe learned to see the game differently. While other kids dreamed of playing, he studied it. He broke it down. He obsessed over details no one else noticed: foot placement, defender angles, timing down to the fraction of a second. That's where he believed the real edge lived. That obsession eventually got a name, the Mamba Mentality. But reducing it to a motivational slogan misses the point. It was a brutal code of self-discipline. It meant waking up before everyone else, working longer than anyone else, and accepting an uncomfortable truth: nobody owes you anything. Kobe didn't train early to look impressive. He trained because he believed every extra rep created a hidden advantage that would show up when the game was on the line. Teammates would show up to the gym at sunrise and find him drenched in sweat, already hours into his workout. Not for show. Out of fear. Fear of being caught slipping. Fear of not reaching his own standard. On the court, that mindset translated into a near-surgical understanding of the game. Kobe studied basketball the way a chess master studies the board. He knew where the defense would break before it actually did. His tough shots weren't reckless. They were calculated. What looked like poor shot selection to fans was often the exact shot he had prepared for. He practiced off-balance jumpers because he knew that in the playoffs, balance disappears. He trained exhausted because the fourth quarter doesn't care how tired you are. Nothing was random. Everything had a purpose. That mentality came with a cost. Kobe was demanding to the point of being labeled cruel. He challenged teammates publicly, pushed egos, and tested limits. Many couldn't handle it. But to Kobe, leadership was never about comfort. It was about accountability. He refused excuses because he refused to make them for himself. When he failed, he punished himself first. After bad games, he stayed in the gym alone, repeating the same moves over and over, as if rewriting the outcome through sheer will. That mindset defined how he dealt with failure. Kobe didn't run from losses. He dissected them. Every mistake was a lesson, every flaw a target. The airballs he shot in the 1997 playoffs could have broken him. Instead, they forged him. He decided in that moment that he would never be afraid of the moment again. And that's the foundation of his legacy. Long before the championships and the finals MVPs, there was a quiet decision. No one would outwork him. That's why, when the game reached its most chaotic, pressure-filled moments, Kobe looked comfortable. He had already lived there in his mind, over and over, when no one was watching. And if mentality explains who Kobe was, pressure explains why he became immortal. His greatness wasn't forged in easy wins, but in moments where everything was on the line. When the game slowed down, when the margin for error disappeared, Kobe didn't shrink. He stepped forward. He didn't just accept responsibility. He hunted it. The 81-point game against Toronto is the most famous example, but it's often misunderstood. It wasn't just an explosion of scoring. It was a masterclass in control. The Lakers weren't dominating. Kobe wasn't hot from the jump. He built that performance piece by piece, responding to every defensive look, bending the game to his will. It wasn't chaos. It was command. And when the moment demanded a single shot, a season on the line, defense collapsing, clock bleeding out, Kobe wanted the ball, not because of ego, but because he trusted the work. Against Phoenix in 2006, he hit impossible shots to force overtime and then win the game, barely reacting afterward. No celebration, no shock, just confirmation. That was what he trained for. In the finals, the pattern continued. Without Shaq, with defenses fully locked onto him, Kobe adapted. He didn't chase scoring titles, he controlled the game. He trusted teammates, read doubles, and struck when it mattered most. When the game tightened, the ball found him naturally, not because he demanded it, but because everyone on the floor knew that was the safest place for it to be. That's the essence of Kobe Bryant. Not just greatness, but reliability under pressure. Not just talent, but intention. And that's why his legacy doesn't fade with time. It sharpens. Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics might be the most honest portrait of Kobe Bryant under pressure. He had one of the worst shooting nights of his career, yet he still finished as the emotional, defensive, and competitive backbone of that championship. He grabbed crucial rebounds, took responsibility, refused to hide. Even without efficiency, he imposed his presence in a way that suffocated the opponent. That performance proved something essential. Greatness isn't just about making shots, it's about refusing to disappear when they don't fall. Kobe Bryant built his legend in moments like that. When the court felt too small for fear, he became too big to ignore. And that's why, whenever the story of the NBA is told, the biggest moments always seem to carry his shadow. Because when the game demanded absolute courage, Kobe answered with silence, focus, and the ball going through the net. Kobe Bryant was never an easy leader to love. In fact, for much of his career, he was seen as the opposite of the traditional leader archetype. He was harsh, demanding, relentless, and often inflexible. But reducing him to a bad leader misses the complexity of who he really was. His leadership wasn't born polished. It was forged through conflict, failure, and pain. Kobe entered the league incredibly young, armed with elite talent and an unshakable belief in where he was headed. That combination created friction from the start. The relationship with Shaquille O'Neal is the clearest example. Together, they dominated the NBA and won 3 straight championships. But off the court, their coexistence was volatile. Kobe demanded from Shaq the same obsessive commitment he demanded from himself. Shaq, confident in his natural dominance, didn't operate with the same urgency. That clash of mentalities created tension that championships couldn't erase. To many, Kobe looked like the villain, but at his core, he wasn't chasing control. He was chasing standards. He wanted everyone around him to pay the same price he was willing to pay. When Shaq left and the Lakers fell into years of mediocrity, Kobe found himself alone, carrying undermanned rosters while facing mounting criticism. It was during this stretch that his leadership began to evolve. For the first time, he had to accept that intensity alone wasn't enough. Demanding without connection only created resistance. Slowly, he learned to listen, to teach, and to lead without breaking people down. The arrival of players like Pau Gasol marked a turning point. With Pau, Kobe found a partner who shared his desire to grow. Instead of crushing teammates, he elevated them. That evolution became clear during the 2009 and 2010 championship runs. Kobe was still demanding, still relentless, but now he understood when to push and when to trust. Teammates like Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, and Paul thrived in that environment. Kobe learned that leadership wasn't about fear, but about accountability and belief. Game 7 of the 2010 Finals symbolized that growth. Kobe struggled shooting the ball, but he never disengaged. He defended, rebounded, communicated, and held the group together. He didn't force heroics, he trusted the team. That night wasn't about skill, it was about maturity. Kobe Bryant never became a comfortable leader. He remained intense until the end. But he learned something essential. True leadership isn't about being feared, it's about being respected. That evolution allowed him not only to win championships, but to leave behind a legacy that teammates would later understand and appreciate. Kobe's 5 championships don't just tell a story of winning, they tell a story of reinvention. Very few players in NBA history have won in such different contexts while maintaining the same competitive identity. Kobe won with Shaq as the dominant force, and later as the unquestioned leader of a completely different team. Through it all, the core remained the same: hunger, discipline, and an unbreakable will. In the early titles from 2000 to 2002, Kobe was the sharp edge to Shaq's power. He was the closer, the pressure point, the player who thrived when the game tilted into chaos. Later, after years of criticism and doubt, he carried teams on his back, endured losing seasons, and refused to break. When the opportunity returned, he was ready. The championships in 2009 and 2010 erased any remaining doubt. Kobe wasn't just along for the ride, he was the engine. Winning finals MVPs, leading emotionally and competitively, and finally defeating Boston in a brutal Game 7, he closed the circle on his career. That victory wasn't just another title, it was vindication. What makes those 5 championships even more powerful is the consistency behind them. Kobe remained the same relentless competitor at 21 and at 31. He adapted his game, his body, and his mindset, but never his hunger. He proved that greatness isn't just about talent, it's about evolution, resilience, and the refusal to fade. Kobe Bryant's legacy isn't just measured in rings or stats. It's measured in how he redefined what it meant to compete, how he pushed those around him to rise, and how he showed that greatness is earned daily, in silence, long before the spotlight turns on. Kobe Bryant's legacy goes far beyond basketball. He proved that greatness isn't just talent, but discipline, purpose, and relentless self-improvement. After his playing career, he poured that same intensity into storytelling, mentorship, and creativity, winning an Oscar and inspiring a new generation. Kobe showed that the Mamba mentality was never about the game alone. It was about pursuing excellence in every area of life. His influence reached far beyond the court, shaping athletes, leaders, and dreamers worldwide. More than championships or statistics, Kobe's true legacy lives in the mindset he left behind. Face fear, embrace hard work, and never stop striving to be better.